Good morning, guys. Glad to have you back with us. This is Brian, Cliffside Outfitters, and we're working on the old Hydrosport project. It's been a ongoing process. Let's just put it that way. But the last time you was with us, we were doing some shaping and getting some bulkheads in. Actually, we were just shaping all the bulkheads. So I went through the process of cutting out the bulkheads and shaping each and every bulkhead. Let's take a look. As you can see, you have to look under this board here. I may give you another angle here in a minute, but we've got our bulkheads cut and shaped. And I went ahead and took the bulkheads and I've laid them in position. Yesterday, I finished glassing up the last of these stringers. They're still tacky. They ain't even cured completely yet because I'm using a slow cure epoxy. I went ahead and stuck the bulkheads in, but they're just sitting there. I've got to let the resin cure up on the stringers, but what I'm going to do, since my bulkheads are in position, I'm going to show you a little trick that I use to get these bulkheads set. So what I've got here, I've got some 5-minute epoxy, just stuff like you buy at Lowe's for making repairs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze me out some of this epoxy, and I'm going to use this 5-minute epoxy, and I'm going to just put a dab on the contact points of these bulkheads so that it'll freeze those in place. And that way, when I go back to put my peanut butter in and seal everything up and tie everything in, they're going to be held firmly. I'm not going to have to use any clamps. There again, when I'm placing the bulkheads in, the stringers they're just tacky. They're not sticky as flypaper, but they've got enough tack to them to where I could set the bulkheads in place and they pretty much stay there as long as I don't bump anything. So let's mix up some of this 5-minute and get these bulkheads glued in place, and then we'll come back later on and put the peanut butter on. I've just got an old lid off cabinet. You can see I've already put my first part in there, and I'm going to see if I can get about the same amount of that in there. And I've got me a little old stick, and we're just going to mix that together. Part A, I've had this epoxy for a while. I've been using it. It's working good, but part A has started to crystallize a little bit, so I guess it's a good thing we're getting to use it up. But it says that you need to mix thoroughly. I would think that'd be a couple minutes. Usually when you go to mixing this stuff, it turns white. So we'll get this mixed up. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So as you can see here, like I said, this is just sitting here. Like I said, it's got there's a little tack on that stringer because it's wet. And I'm going to just take a glob of this epoxy, and I'm just going to put a little on the end here and put a glob down in there. And all that's going to do, like I said, in 5 minutes, that's going to be there for good. I need to move that level. I have my level up here. I'm making a mess. You can see that there's still a little tack left there. But we'll just gob some down in here. Now these bulkheads, you see that I've not shaped the top for the glass yet. I'll come back and do that later. And any of this epoxy, if I get anywhere I don't want it, I'll just sand it off. But like I said, all that's going to do is just they'll be there, and when I come back, I don't have to worry about them moving around while I'm trying to peanut butter and seal them off. If you'll notice this bulkhead here, it's a little bit forward of the rest, and the reason for that is right here is where my self-belling drain will be in the deck. So this has to be a little far forward. My deck's going to come to about right here, and I've got about 4 inches to put in a drain. Alright, so we've got that taken care of. And there again, like I said, if you don't want to use the epoxy, the 5-minute epoxy, and set those, you can put your clamps on there and put your peanut butter on there and wait. Give it some time. The only reason I'm using this 5-minute is just to speed up the whole process. I can go ahead and peanut butter. The peanut butter is going to be, I'm not relying on the peanut butter to hold the bulkheads in, so I can go ahead and tab over it and have a real nice smooth transition. I guess we'll mix up some peanut butter and get with it. So, all right, our 5 minutes is up, and I think our epoxy is set. I am going to take, if I can get these gloves on, and mix us up some peanut butter, and we'll do the fillets on these. Then we'll lay in some tabbing, some glass. We'll overwrap, and we'll be moving forward with the project. So let me get some peanut butter mixed up. Let's build a little. Let's build a little. It's alright. Won't be the first time. I dare say it probably ain't gonna be the last. So, anyway. So we got that in here. We'll roll it back up and we'll seal it off. So far on this particular run, I'm not filthy. I've got to, well, it's a little too far with that. Got to open that up enough to get the air out of it. Push that. I've just been pushing it down there with my hand. Get it pretty close. Now we're going to seal it the rest of the way off. We'll wrap this up, and we've got a piping bag. So we can use that to install or to apply this product. So we've cut us a small hole in the bag, and it's just as simple as I've got it rolled up. I'm going to squeeze it out just like that. Need a little more right there, and let's put a little up here. Get that filled in. Now, I got this tip from one of the guys online. They said use a plastic spoon. That's absolutely perfect tool for this. I like the clear ones because you can see through them. They don't inhibit you being able to see what you're doing. And you just take the spoon, and however you want to hold it, whatever feels comfortable to you, but you just run it down through here. As you mess with it, you'll get the idea of how much to put so that it's not squeezing out. That little bit of squeeze out that's on the edge, I'm going to come back and clean that up, because I found that what that causes is that makes my glass lay off of it. I might sand it if I don't clean it up now. So I'll clean it up now. Sanding is not fun. Let's just put it that way. Same thing here. Gives us a nice smooth transition. Got to do some sanding here. Don't matter quite as much. You can turn that spoon around flat if you're real careful and drag that off. Not as easy as with a putty knife, but it worked. Same thing on the back side. Up the back edge. Down here. Getting their material in. Lay that where it ain't going to run all over the boat. And here. Smooth it out nice and pretty. Didn't get enough right there. You can run across it again. And again. However many times you need to do it. I want this these pockets in here, like I told you before, I want them airtight. So I'm going to pay real close attention to detail when I go to do this. Plus it just gives such a nice transition for your fiberglass to follow when you put it in. Like I told you, we got these little bits right here. I'm going to take and just get that off of there, because if you don't, you're going to have to sand it off later to get your fiberglass to lay on there correctly. I'm not the neatest person, but the cleaner that you work with this, the better off you are. The less work it is in the long run. It's more enjoyable. So I have got to do the fillets on the rest of these bulkheads, and then I'll bring you back when we start to do some glassing and some tabbing. We're going to get these glassed in, and we're getting close to being ready for decking, and that's exciting to me, to see the deck go back in. That's going to be quite a process, but I'm excited about getting the deck in and moving forward with the project. I'm excited about crappie fishing. It's February now. They're probably already biting. They're deep, but they're biting. But I'm excited about getting out and doing some spring crappie fishing. Just we cross our fingers. Hope it all goes well. But until next time, this is Brian, Cliffside Outfitters. I'm glad you hung out with me today. Like I said, we're gonna get all this took care of. I'll bring you back in the next video. We'll do some more layup and keep moving on the hydro sport. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe button if you like our videos. We've got more to come, and you know, here in a couple months we'll be doing some fishing, so that'll be exciting. But we'll see you next time. Y'all have a good day.